Good morning, Dijana here. How is everybody going post that massive new moon solar eclipse? It was huge. I'm still very much feeling the energy. I'm still very much getting up at 3:30 in the morning. Anyway, welcome to this live. This is my take 2. I just tried to record the first one and that didn't work, so I'm going the second time. This particular video is going to be for the Mentoring for Awakening series that I record here and then upload onto YouTube, so you can watch all the episodes either here in the group or on my YouTube channel. I will include the link in the comments once I'm finished. This is episode number 23, and today I'm going to talk to you about the evolution of the base chakra. I'm going to do a short series now and go through the different chakras and talk to you about what has manifested in the energy body, in the aura, in terms of how the chakra portals, the energy points, are actually being upgraded as we evolve. But before we do that, let me first of all say to you that some of you, I understand that some of you know quite a lot about chakras, but there may be some that are joining the collective that are pretty new to this journey. They are having their awakening, or perhaps aspects of the dark night of the soul, and just need a little bit more information to really understand the mechanics of what a chakra actually is. So I'm going to do that now, give you a short description. Feel free to ask me questions after the recording is done, because I won't be answering any questions as I'm recording. Okay, so what is an actual chakra? Well, a chakra, or some people say chakra, is an energy point, and there's many energy points. But these are the main points most commonly referred to because they are located up and down our spine or our physical body. And each different chakra represents different aspects of our physical journey, right? Essentially, a chakra is a vortex of energy. So it's like, what did I write down? I have a language for it. It's like a transformer. Now, how is it a transformer? Let me take this opportunity to very badly draw. I'm really not very good at storyboarding, but I'll make an attempt to draw the base chakra to you. So where the other chakras are basically like, well, essentially like round vortexes of energy up and down our spine, as I've said, the base chakra actually faces downwards like a cone. Yeah, so it's a little bit like this. Let me show you. So it's located at the very base of your spine, yeah, and it faces downwards because it takes and directly interacts with the earth plane, yeah? So it's a little bit like this. If we think of it in the form of a cone with the vortex of energy basically spiraling up and down like this, yeah? And so where it's a transformer is that it will take in through this vortex it calls or attracts to it. It attracts to it energy, sorry, far out, that's from the world around, but it's energy that is on the like or the same frequency, right? So for example, if the base chakra was vibing this energy at, say, I don't know, 48 hertz, yeah? That would be the energy that it would be transmitting, and that would be the energy, that field, that frequency, it would be receiving or calling to it energy that is on that frequency, right? So this is sort of the mechanics of the laws of attraction, right? So depending on where you're vibing, yeah, is what you transmit out, and then you're met with the same. So until you shift your inner spiral or frequency, right, you continue to send out and receive the like hertz, or the like frequency, the like wave, light wave, yeah? Now, how it's so that's how it's a transmitter. Sorry, I'm just going through the information through my head. So that's how it transmits, receives and transmits information, right? Once it's received information, right, from the outside world, as it's co-creating, collaborating with other energies that are coming from other people, environments, and so on and so forth, right? What it then does, the energy that's coming in will come through a perception field. The perception field is basically the way you view the world, how you've been conditioned, what you have learned, what are your life experiences, and all of that sort of stuff. And then it'll come through the perception field, or that filter, perception filter, right, into your chakra, yeah, that vortex. And then as it's going up the vortex, because it's going both ways, remember a vortex of energy goes up and it goes down, yeah? As it reaches, right, the body, it will have, each chakra will have a connection to a particular organ in the body, but it will distribute then that energy that's come in through the emotional and the mental body, which is how we form, how we feel, and what we think. Once we've formed our thoughts and our emotions that have come in through this field, right, then the brain will go boom, 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 boom. It will send out the information, those thoughts, those perceptions through that neuro pathway, activate chemically, and then send those chemicals down into our body and into the relevant parts that are basically connected and collaborate with whatever it is that our brain has perceived chemically, yeah? So we have a chemical response to what's basically come in through our perception field, and then in to the chakra and been distributed then through the emotional body and the mental body in the form of feelings and thoughts. Okay, I hope that makes a little bit of sense. That's basically what a chakra is. Now, specifically to the base chakra. The base chakra is red, hence the outfit today. I thought I would do a theme and dress up for you. The base chakra is red. And like I already explained, where most chakra vortexes face are open to the front and the back, the base chakra is up. The vortex is up from the base of the spine and down in order to receive. Okay, so part of the chakra will be receiving, the other part is distributing. Okay. So each chakra can be described to hold within it particular archetypes, right? Specific archetypes. And it can be described to hold a balanced or more high vibe, positive, harmonious archetype, and one where they're still learning and it's out, the chakra is out of balance and therefore it's denser and the vortex spins slower. Yeah? The positive aspect or the purpose of the base chakra is multifold, of course, but in terms of an archetype, the archetype associated with the base chakra is that of the mother. And the mother archetype represents our ability. I have some notes, so I'm just going to refer to them so that I, can structure it nicely for you, as I usually do. So the mother archetype represents our ability to nourish and look after ourselves, to make our own money, to be able to live independently, to not have codependent relationships with anybody, to make our own way in the world safely, knowing that we are always going to be provided for. Basically that kind of nourishing and looking after ourselves, all of our physical needs in the world, right? It also helps to, the base chakra, mother archetype, also helps us to integrate the feminine aspects into the physical so that we can develop from there our capacity to love, which then you will see as we go along moves up the chakras, until we get to our heart chakra, which is all about that capacity to genuinely integrate love. The victim archetype within the base chakra, so this is the aspects of the base chakra where there's more learning, that's denser, that's out of balance and harmony, is the archetype of a victim. So the victim behavior, the victim mentality, the victim feelings belong to the base chakra, or they play out in the base chakra. So the victim is the lowest level of energy and awareness. The victim feels that it is at the mercy of some sort of an outside force, whether it's a parent in early years, or whether it's some sort of authority figures, or a partner within a relationship, whatever, and they actively go against them, so they feel victimized by outside forces. So the archetype of the base chakra is the mother and the victim. So for example, if we are vibing at self-confidence in terms of confident in how we make our way in the world, that we can make money, we have a good job, we have a good business, we can pay all of our bills, we can pay the rent, we can make our way, buy our food, we have a roof over our head, and all of that sort of stuff, right? Then the base chakra spins at its highest potential. So the hertz is higher, right? The frequency band. And so when it transmutes from that frequency, it will attract more of those things that support us in that self-nurturing way, or in other words, the mother archetype. But if we are vibing at the victim archetype, and we are afraid, we believe that we are at the mercy of somebody else, we believe that we are not self-sufficient, we are not self-reliant, we don't have our own money, we are worried about losing our homes and all of those sorts of things. I'm not talking about doing this for 1 week or 2 weeks or 6 months. I'm talking about this being a state of being. The victim archetype being a belief, an innate belief as a direct result of set of circumstances in life. Yeah. Then we will transmit that very, very, very low frequency and attract, call in more of those people to teach us that lesson until we've learned it and we can transmute and get out of the rut of the victim through having that belief system. Yeah. So that's the base chakra. Now, in terms of in terms of other chakra traits, right? The traits of the chakra also have a kind of personality, right? And again, there are ego traits and then there are divine traits as per being connected to the divine, to our divine nature. Let me say that out loud. Goodness me, hang on. So in terms of the personality traits, right, I'm going to use my notes and I'm just going to read out to you some of the personality traits and behaviors that you may notice, or you might know people that are expressing these personality and behavior choices or ways. When the base chakra is out of balance and harmony. So it's coming from a place of fear. It's coming from that place of ego in survival mode, right? So the ego traits are that a person will be fearful, disorganized, often cluttered, as in have clutter around them, or live in a place that's really cluttered. They're easily manipulated. They're uncertain. They have or see the world through the lack filter. So never enough, can't do enough. I could win the lotto and it still wouldn't be enough. There would be some sort of lack in some way. Nothing is good enough for the victim, which is kind of what I've just said. Tends to be really non-emotional, but controlling and self-destructive. This is so these are those survival attempts to control the environment, because everything and everyone is against the victim, remember? They get very anxious. They fear loss of personal possessions. Again, going back to that safety, that having confidence to look after yourself in the form of, like having a roof over your head, maybe having a car to drive, or, that sort of safety. Of course, all of these things were really tested this year with COVID for many, many, many people, and continue to be tested. even fear for personal safety because they believe they're at the mercy of somebody else. Yeah, lack of security, lack of direction. I mean, it just goes on. So these are the ego traits, or another way to say the survival traits of the victim, which is, of course, the more dense or negative aspect of the base chakra. Now, the divine aspects of the chakra. When the base chakra is balanced, there is a great connection to Earth and our environment overall. Things like our families, or more like a balanced connection. Doesn't have to be great, like woohoo, everybody gets along and it's just love, 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 but it's divine in nature because there's understanding and compassion, and because the mother archetype helps us begin to learn how to love. There is a sense of unconditional love and acceptance in terms of, tolerance for those in our family that are on a different journey or that maybe push our buttons or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, great connection with our place, society, planet. The divine nature of the base chakra is that most commonly the person feels like they have a sense of purpose, strong sense of purpose in the world, and are therefore giving and hardworking in terms of meeting that purpose, having a mission in life, being a part of something bigger than themselves. Yeah. The person with a healthy and balanced base chakra is just not swayed by others' opinions easily, and has discernment. Essentially is the language, the right language, is able to discern what is their own innate truth, as opposed to being easily swayed by others' opinions or social media, as is the case these days, or any kind of media or any kind of groups and communities. Yeah. A person with a healthy and balanced base chakra will know and understand that change is necessary from the perspective of personal growth, from the perspective of evolution, even if they don't necessarily use that language, and will be able to flow relatively easy with changes that come along in life, yeah, as opposed to falling apart completely every time something changes, yeah, because they need to control their environment, because they're a victim and they're afraid. Yeah, so see the difference? They have a healthy self-worth. They trust innately themselves, or their capacity to look after themselves even if shit happens. Will know how to self-nurture pretty well. These days, an example of that would be, I don't know, probably actively participate in their well-being. Either through going to the gym, going to yoga class, dance class, I don't know, getting a massage every month, having some sort of a self-care routine. So that's, hence the mother archetype, again, going back to that self-nourishment and self-care, self-nurture, self-love even. This will be expanded more when we get to the solar plexus, because the solar plexus is much elaborates more on these themes of self-care, yeah, and self-nourishment and trusting oneself to be safe in the world. Okay, so what's next? When there are noticeable physical signs when the base chakra is out of balance, yeah? So I'm going to read you what they are now, and then we'll talk about it. So one of the signs of physical imbalance for the base chakra is spinal weakness, arthritis, allergies, because there's a friction between self and the environment, yeah, and the energy is not easily integrated, so there's like a headbutting between within and without. Often sexual problems, also cancer, leukemia, low vitality and energy, dementia, needing to run away from reality because you can't deal, insomnia, can't rest and take care of yourself, nervous disorders. The central nervous system is always on the outlook for next danger, so it just is burnt out, yeah? So lots of nervousness disorders, anxiety and all of that sort of stuff, panic attacks maybe. Chronic back pain, varicose veins, bowel disorders, where there is that much anxiety about the world that you're just hanging on, and so, you know, the bowels are not functioning properly. Heart attacks, stroke, depression, and tendency towards alcoholism. So I just heard a question in my mind. So the question was, how do we know all this, right? So the way to know this really is over research. People have been researching this and understanding this for a very long time. What I'm sharing here with you is not new. This is all of this information is available within everybody's, you know, energy field, and have been many people that have been doing this work and observing the collective and individual energetic field to see how certain things play out. Of course, should you be really curious about this, then I'm happy to send you my notes. There they are. I'll take a photo of it, or I might just take a photo of it and put it in the comments. And then you'll have the notes to refer to, and you can observe. Be your own observer. Check it out. Have a think about it. Why would someone that has a tendency towards alcoholism have a unbalanced, unhealthy, low, dense base chakra and feel like they are a victim of the world or some sort of a victim? I'll leave that with you. What was the next thing that we needed to talk about? So, where's my notes? My other notes. I've got like 3 different sets of notes. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to talk to you about is very, very exciting. Okay. I have already mentioned at least one way in which the base chakra has evolved. And that is that our point of self-mastery, the aspect of self-mastery called discernment. So being able to stay in your own truth, in your own unique truth, or hold your own integrity, is something called discernment, or is because you can discern, you can make a decision and form an educated point of reference and perception based on your own filter, based on your own intuition, consciously based on the energetics of the exchange between people, between the person or me and what I'm reading on social media, what I'm watching in a movie, in a series, in well, I don't watch news, but you know, any news that comes in, I can discern for me what feels like it's something that I need to receive, or do I just let it pass through me and off it goes and I've got no interest? Doesn't matter what anybody says. So discernment is one thing. It sits firmly within our base chakra because it keeps us grounded, period. The whole nature of the base chakra is also changing as we are changing in the form of what we need in order to feel nurtured and safe and secure. Yeah. So 20, 30 years ago, the old paradigm belief system will tell you that, you know, you're born, you go to school, you get some sort of a qualification, you get a job for life, you get married, you have 2.5 kids, you buy a house, you have a mortgage for the rest of your life, you're in debt, you raise your kids, then they leave, and then you're 60 something, you retire, and then you go and have some fun. If you're lucky to last that long, if you haven't divorced and all of that sort of stuff, right? The social status and expectation has shifted and continues to shift. So our capacity for discernment within the base chakra in terms of what we need continues to change and is still changing. Yeah. So there are many that I know, including I've actually never had this, but needing to be valid or validated within society by owning a home. I've never particularly felt like I needed to be in debt to the bank for the rest of my life in order to feel somehow valued or successful within society, because I don't see success in that way. I don't need that validation. But while I say this, I absolutely have had a mortgage, I've owned the home, all of that sort of stuff, but it's not a thing that I need to have. I think there's more and more of that. And the programming is shifting from this really rigid four walls kind of structure to looking at physical safety and commitment to where we live in a different way. So that's just one example of how things have changed within, say, the base chakra, but they're all the sort of things that will continue to change. So we're coming up now in 2021 for in this next decade. The thing with our financial systems and how all of that is going to work is going to change dramatically. So with those changes, our perception field changes as well. So therefore we process the need for financial success in a different way as well. Or lack, if you're vibing in victim mode, basically. Okay, but here's what's really super exciting. If we are talking about calling in, remember, the base chakra is the cone that's calling to itself, right? Interacting with the environment. So this is the environment, right? That's the perception field, right? So there's energy over here, everybody else's energy, collective energy, the other person's energy that you are talking to, whoever, right? Perception field, and then interacting with your base as the base calls in, right? Anything to do with this physical space, with matter, with your physical existence in the world, right? And then we've got, sorry, and then oh my goodness, what is that? Sorry, I think my neighbor's going off. And then we've got, that's the distributor aspect, right? The receiving, the transmitting, receiving from the outside, and then distributing within the emotional and mental body, okay? So this is the base chakra cone. This would be, right, the exchange between the outside and the inside, yeah? And that would be about the base of your spine, right? So if you trace down your back all the way to the base, you can usually feel the base of your spine. That would be about where the cone would be, okay? Or the cones. Here's the really exciting thing, right? Probably over the last sort of 18 months or so, what I've been seeing, right, within my energetic system is more and more of this, right? There's an extra set of cones that have come in, like, oopsie daisy. Oh my God, my pen's now dying. Hang on. Yep. Is dead. Hang on. Let me see if I can. Right? So I've been seeing this, right? An extra set of transmuter distributors, right? But what this has actually turned out to be, right, is that these two, instead of just facing up and down from this middle axis here, right, they've begun to spin, right? So there's a vortex of energy and then it's spinning, right? But it's not just spinning in a circle, it's like in every direction. And so I've been working with this image to see what in the world this is about, because as more and more of this, spin takes place, it's almost like a helicopter, like a propeller, yeah? It's propelling the up motion in terms of frequency and moving it, right? So receiving more from the earth chakra, if you will, and from Gaia, from Mother Earth, and then speeding up, starting to move, right, in all directions of space and time, and propelling this higher frequency up, and then meeting the star chakra, etc. Right? And I've been wondering, what in the world? And then finally, as I've seen mine come into form more and more and begin to spin faster, I've seen that what it's actually doing is the vortex of the chakra is now open to all dimensions, timelines, in every direction of, you know, everywhere. All the different linear timelines, all the parallel timelines, everything. It's fascinating. That's the role, that's the upgrade, the evolution, the evolutionary trajectory of the base chakra, because it calls to itself the manifestation into form by spinning in all those different directions. It not just accesses from beneath, as in from the earth chakra, and then distributes and communicates within with the rest. It's actually now able to spin and call in, communicate and interact with all the different parallel realities, with all the different timelines and all the different dimensions. And this is helping propel us, remember I said propeller? Propel us up in terms of frequency, in terms of awareness, of course, being aware of the physical multidimensionality, of the parallel realities, of the different space and galactic realities, the different dimensions, all the, you know, our earthly ancestors and timelines. And this is how we call them into this moment through the base chakra, in order to interact with it as a form of a physical reality. So we can clear all of that sort of stuff, or learn, or reconnect, or call in, or witness, or understand, or and. It's very exciting. I think it's fascinating. And so these are some of the ways in which the base chakra is moving from what we know to be the most common, usual baseline intake and distribution and transmission of energy, to a higher vibrational reality. And it starts with the base chakra, actually. There needs to be this motion of a propeller, this motion of the base chakra. So the base chakra still stays on its, and it's still, yeah, so it still is at the same location within the body. But instead of being stationary with a with this basically two-way interaction, up and down interaction, it is now spinning in all directions, able to access all of those things I just talked about. It's brilliant, amazing. Now, in closing, I want to say to you, those of you that know a lot about chakras, but you still watched, thank you for bearing with me. What else do I want to say in closing? Other purposes for the chakra, for this particular chakra, the base chakra, is that it's the storehouse. Of course, it makes sense. It stores all of our memories, especially the ones from childhood. It ensures that we are physically energized and it keeps us grounded, of course. Keywords being survival, protection, belonging. Really, really, really important. Really baseline kind of, yeah, survival stuff, yeah? Which is why it's so easy to go into ego when you're in this center. Why it's so easy to feel threatened. Why it's so easy to feel at that very, very, very low density frequency, that people, families, authority is against us in some way and we just can't win. It needs order, control, structure, logic, needs to belong, needs to be accepted. It needs a home as opposed to a house. Physical contact, sensory gratification, needs to feel that it, as in he, she, the person has a right to be here. Because there are many of us, including myself, that have grown up feeling like we don't really belong. And sometimes that we don't even have the right to be here or to speak up or to do anything, yeah? So I felt very much victimized by circumstances in life. And then, of course, it takes some work to transmute that, to dissolve those beliefs in order to transcend or overcome that, so it can be a healthier, more balanced physical experience. Yeah? All right. I hope you enjoyed that. I will do the sacral chakra next week. So I'll see you in orange. Have a fabulous base chakra week. Again, if there are any questions with regards to what I talked about, feel free to put them in the comments. Share, subscribe, have a conversation with people. This is really important information for anybody that's on the ascension journey. The very least we need to understand is the basic functions, energetic functions within us. What else do I want to say to you? And I have a gift, a voucher or a gift available, a gift package available, if you would like to offer somebody either like a bit of, you know, gift somebody with the opportunity to have, you know, a session with someone like me, whether it be counseling or mentoring, life coaching, anything along those lines. Okay, I'm going to stop now. Much love. Mwah. Bye.